Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to next generation Cyberpunk 2077. I say next generation because we finally received the patch 1.5 for Xbox Series S, X and PlayStation 5. So this game is finally taking a better advantage of the next generation hardware, or should I say current gen hardware now, because both Xbox Series and PlayStation 5 consoles are current gen consoles, of course. Previously, this game did run at backwards compatibility mode, so obviously it didn't really take full advantage of the consoles, and now it runs better. So first of all, the loading speeds, obviously the loading times dropped significantly, so the game actually loads much faster. So let me just continue. It takes literally a couple of seconds to load the game, which is great because whenever something happens, you don't necessarily have to wait for too long, and voila, we are in the game. First thing that I noticed, and you will probably notice, is the fact that the game just runs at high resolution in performance mode. I'm running this game right now in performance mode, and it's just much sharper. I have no idea what kind of resolution it is. It may not be full flat 4K. From what I've seen from the official information from CD Projekt Red, apparently it's dynamic 4K. And apparently that's dynamic 4K for both performance mode, which runs at 60 frames per second, and ray tracing mode, which runs at 30 frames per second. So just for a minute, let me just switch to ray tracing mode, which will run at 30 frames per second, but will have ray traced shadows. So you can clearly see the actual judder. It's not as smooth as the 60 frames per second, but it just has more shadows. Like if you look at the shadows, they are more natural, and this time around everything casts shadows. Like even these poles, like look at these poles, for example, right? If I remember correctly, these poles don't have any shadows in the performance mode, right? So it's not really like a major stuff, right? It doesn't really necessarily change even the way the game looks much, but it's just adding a little bit more depth to the actual graphics, right? So, like I said, you can see the actual shadows. Actually, no, the shadows are gone. Shadows over here, because it's coming from this light, right? So you can see these shadows over here. Let's switch to performance mode and see how that goes. No, actually, okay. So these are still here. I'm talking about the shadows, but shadows over here is totally different. It's pre-baked and it's different. Now, some may actually say that, oh, the shadow looks better because it's sharper, right? But, it may be sharper, but it's not natural, right? That's what the whole thing is all about. By the way, this guy, somebody cemented his legs. Well, this guy is not going anywhere, that's for sure. So looks like this game still has bugs. Dude, how long you've been sitting here? Jesus. He's part of the pavement now. Well, yeah, I know. Anyway. So, graphics. Graphics seems to be better. This game looks much better now. But I think the part of the reason that it actually looks better is the fact that it's just running at higher resolution. And obviously the higher resolution makes everything kind of look better because it's sharper. You can see more details. So yeah, as far as performance goes, most of the game actually runs at 60 frames per second, smooth 60 frames per second. as you can see, like, I'm running around the city and so far no frame rate drops, right? But obviously I played this game a little bit before, and when I reach city center, and we'll go there in a minute, well, there's some frame rate drops there as well. So it's not all roses, if you know what I mean. Let's check if I can borrow this car. Should I take it? Why not? Get lost. There we go. So let's drive around for a minute and see how that goes. The resolution, actually, right now, I can see that the resolution dropped a little bit. But that's what happens when, there's like, you're traveling faster, I think. So, oh, I broke my car. So the game runs, I would say that the game did run pretty well even before. So in terms of performance, not much actually changes over here. It was 60 then, it's 60 now as well. Whoa! The hell is going on? Okay, let's visit city center. Because that's where I noticed the most of the frame rate drops. And yeah, the frame drops were pretty bad, to the point that even VRR enabled didn't really help much. So yeah, I'm wondering if they start shooting at me. Well, so far so good. Yeah, I wasn't sure if they welcome me here, because last time I visited this place, police started shooting at me because I stole somebody's car. Happens sometimes. So anyway, this place over here drop some frames a little bit here. So it's not terrible. Actually, it's not that bad now. But there are some frame rate drops a little bit. There we go. So these frame rate drops are not massive, and it's not like, oh, I can't play this game anymore. But in like when you're trying to do something fast, you kind of notice it, right? Yeah, there's drops over here as well. There we go. But generally speaking, the game just looks better. I wouldn't say that it actually runs better, but considering that it's actually running at higher resolution, so we could say that, I guess. Graphics overall looks better. I'm sure that Digital Foundry will tell us more about, what has actually changed. City seems to be more dense, and yeah, there's still frame rate drops here. I think that during the day the frame rate drops are a little bit like heavier, if you know what I mean. But generally speaking, the game runs well, really well. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a frame rate drops over here. So I guess that's the only complaint I would have, like, you know, some frame rate drop. But this is the thing, like, when they announced that patch today during the stream, they did say that basically the performance mode offers dynamic 4K resolution at 60 frames per second with minor dips in frame rate, right? So they even during the stream, during the official announcement of that patch, they did confirm that there's some frame rate issues here. So I just hope that they will fix it. Actually, it's not too bad right now. So yeah. I'm not sure if the time of the day actually makes a difference in this game in terms of performance, because I feel like when I played that game before, earlier today after the patch, and it was, you know, during the game's day, I think the performance was even worse than this. But anyway, like, it's still dropping frames. Look at it, right? It's just not perfect. But it's not too bad. Actually, it's not too bad now. Just turn on, make sure you've got VRR on, you know, FreeSync and stuff, and you'll be fine for the most part. Like, oh, now we've got bigger frame rate drops. I think it all depends on how many people you've got on the streets. Yeah, frame rate seems to be a little bit worse now than before. So, but there's more people on the streets. So I think that the number of people on the streets actually makes a difference. Oh, there we go. There's like a big frame drop here as well. So anyway, guys, the game is still fun. It runs smooth 60 frames per second for the most part. This particular place is really the only place where I noticed that there's like big frame rate drops, like this one right over here. Look at it. It's just losing frames left and right. But other than this place, which you're probably not going to spend much time playing, yeah, the game is pretty smooth, 60 frames per second. Yeah, give it a try. And by the way, there's free demo on PlayStation and Xbox Store, so you can give it a try for free. I think you can actually play that demo for like 5 hours, and that saves the progress from that demo actually transfers to the full game. So you can give it a try, basically, right? You don't really risk anything. And if you like it, you like it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, then you don't have to buy it, right? So anyway, that's the video. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for support. Really appreciate it. Please consider subscribing for more content like this. I do quite a lot of gameplay videos. I do PC benchmarks as well. So give my channel a look. Check the other videos. Maybe you like some. You know, consider subscribing, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.